We're here with Mayor Begich, current mayor of Anchorage.
Current. I'm in my fifth and moving into my sixth and final year.
And you are a Senate candidate in Alaska. I don't think 2 years ago people would have thought the Democratic candidate for Senate in Alaska was going to have much of a chance, yet you're running a very competitive race. Is it you as a candidate? Is it the backdrop of the political environment? What is it that is making this a competitive race for you?
I think it's all those combined. I think, one, I come from a city that's 43% of the state's population, so it gives a great base, and many people have seen for the last 5 years the work we've done to really transform the city. Prior to me winning my race for 15 years, Republicans controlled the mayor's office. So I was kind of the new guy, had huge opportunity to really change the deck and move the city forward. So we've done a huge amount of economic redevelopment. We have invested in our community. We've done all the things that people around the state really are looking at saying, can you do that elsewhere? And I think that's part of the equation. But also the backdrop of the national politics and the state politics. Alaska has shifted. I was born and raised in the state. I've seen it progressively change, and people want quality of life. They're looking for the long-term issues now, not just the grab for today and not worry about tomorrow attitude. It's a different view, and because of that, the issues that people want to deal with today are the issues that mostly progressives or moderates, whatever you want to call us, are interested in. Education, health care, the issues of energy costs, veterans care. All these issues now are important to people, where 2, 4, 6 years ago, people were just more worried about maybe one issue, and it wasn't really a problem like energy is today. But it's the dynamics of the state politics changing, national politics, and then I think the work we have done, the results we have been able to get for families in Alaska, in Anchorage, who are living there.
What principles of government did you bring to your mayorship? Did you have a hands-off, the free market is going to solve all our problems in Anchorage, or did you have a more robust, active role of government to get the things done that you want accomplished?
Well, local government, one thing about serving as mayor, I tell people this all the time, if you survive serving in local government, any other political office is a piece of cake, because you are hands-on, you are engaged in everything. When I came in, I took over the office of mayor. We had a $33 million deficit. We had a bond rating that was not necessarily in trouble, but on the edge of problems. We had a police department that was totally understaffed. We had a variety of challenges. And the way I approached it was very simple. Tell the public where we're at. Be very open and honest about it. Do not hide behind and play the two-step and shuffle around, but actually, here it is. Here's the situation we have, and here's how we all have to participate. And we did, and it wasn't easy. I mean, we had to deal with some reductions in services and some core services. We had to realign some of the business we did. But instead of just kind of dragging it on and painfully going through this process, I said, if we can do this in 1 year, then we can build this city back up. And where we are today is we're building a $100 million new convention center. It can be built on time within our budget. We're finishing a $100 million museum, which almost all that money is non-city money to build it. We're rebuilding our streets and road system throughout the community, adding to our transit system, adding to our branch libraries, added 70 new police officers, 3 new fire stations, and we've all done it with sustainable revenue stream. We came with a very managed kind of fiscal policy. We have one of the highest bond ratings now in the country as a city government. So we came in there, and I came in there with, we got to get this thing under control financially. And I have this experience from being 20 plus years in small business that you cannot continue to run a large operation without understanding its finances. Get the labor folks and get them in line to help us, and then go down the path and build the city for the future. And that's what we did. And that has been very positive, and people like it because we get results. It's not just a bunch of press conferences and one-liners. We actually say X, we're going to do it.
What has to happen on the federal level so cities like yours across the country can thrive? Do you need to keep slashing taxes across the board, even for the wealthiest, or do you need to have some federal public investment into our urban areas so we can build up our infrastructure from the bottom up?
I think it's a couple things. I can only tell you, if I ran the city government like the way the federal government is being run, I would have been run out of office in the first day. I mean, they're running deficits. They can't manage their budget on time. They can't get their budget on time. The variety of things, their fiscal house is a mess. But the investment that's necessary, that the federal government should be doing in some of the federal highway systems, the transportation systems, the public transportation systems are critical, especially now with this energy crisis. We should be re-examining how we're going to invest in our public transportation system, local government, state government, federal government, and what the partnership's going to be. The other thing is, when we had support from the federal government with our COPS program, a lot of cities around this country were able to really take hold of the crime rate and really knock it down. Then when the Bush administration eliminated that, it created a gap, and cities cannot do it on their own. We're kind of the last, we're hanging there last, we're at the end of the stream. And so some of that public safety support should come from the national level to assist in dollars to local communities. Or our community development block grant money, that we leverage that. We get about $2 million, for example, in Anchorage. But we leverage that in the $10, $12, $13 million of private sector money. So those seeds that the federal government can put down, you can really redevelop the community. So I think the federal government has a very important role. But the one role they can't be doing, for example, with No Child Left Behind Act, I don't like that act. I think it has destroyed some of our elements of rural communities in the sense of education, because Washington, D.C. should let as much of the education be decided at a local level, at a parent level, not a policy from Washington, D.C., because what's good in New York is going to be different in Bethel, Alaska. What's good in Bethel, Alaska is going to be different than Austin, Texas. And this kind of one-size-fits-all D.C. theory doesn't work. And there's certain roles that the federal government should not be as aggressive in, and let the local communities have as much flexibility. And education is one of those pieces of the equation.